Everyone, welcome back to Nutrition Made Simple, a series that we created that takes a look at ideas surrounding natural health topics, and then we break them down into easy to understand and actionable steps. My name's Brian Strickland. I'm joined again today by Ed Jones. He's the owner and founder of Nutrition World. And for the month of March, we've just kind of been talking about gut health issues. But today we wanted to just do a step-by-step gut reset protocol, if you will, or why you would even want to consider something like that. When it comes to our guts, if things are going wrong, then it's very apparent, and it's something that we want to take up very quickly. And if you continually have kind of like that unrest in your digestive system, then this might be a good thing for you to consider as well. But before we get into the details, why don't we go ahead and define what we mean by gut reset, and then maybe talk about a few of the reasons why people would want to consider it.
Absolutely, Brian. And you know, in the definition, the word reset means to set, adjust, or fix in a different way. And as Brian speaks about, the gut can be devastating to not only our gut health, but to our overall health, because half of your immune system and brain chemicals are produced in the gut lining. And I love the word reset because it kind of means a clean start, kind of putting the past behind, getting a clean blackboard and getting able to write the new future on that. And the gut is the probably one of the most important parts of our whole system for our future and for our daily feelings of even peace in the mind, because anxiety and depression is epidemic, and one of those reasons because the microbiome is so disturbed.
What are some of the strategies that people could employ starting out just lifestyle-wise before we get into kind of the nitty-gritty about how diet can affect? But what are some of the common practices that people can do to try to kind of help reset the gut?
Well, you know, if you think about it, the heart even rests in between beats. Almost nothing in the body works every single second. But you know what? Most Americans, their gut never ceases to function or gets to rest because we eat continuously. And we might, during the last part of our sleep cycle, maybe have an empty stomach where it's not digesting, but it's not enough, let me tell you. And I am hugely invested in what we call time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. That's the only time your gut actually doesn't have to do anything. And so what it does is house cleaning. It actually goes in and calms some of the inflammation down. It actually helps to heal any of the things that may be going on. And what I do and what I recommend is eating in a window of 10 hours and not eating in 14, at least 3 days a week. What that does, we found, it makes your hormones better. It makes your cells digest unhealthy cells and some of the senile cells. And it is, when you look at the animal kingdom, no animal eats like we do, which is just gorging on a buffet of food from early on to life till we die almost. They have periods of fasting. And why do you think we don't get hungry when we're sick? Because the body intuitively knows it doesn't need to be doing multiple jobs. Trying to heal something and also digest food is just an overwhelming challenge for the body.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like when we eat, what we eat is obviously equally important. And personally, like you'll know your trigger foods. You know what upsets your stomach on a regular basis and what you need to stay away from. But even if you're staying away from those things and you're still having issues, which is a lot of people still, unfortunately, there are some dietary shifts that you can try that could have a pretty dramatic effect. So I know obviously you're a big fan of like a pseudo ketogenic diet. That's what you follow in your personal life. But what type of diet or what food should we stay away from if we're wanting to start a gut reset?
You know, Brian, one of the demons in this whole conversation is glyphosate, which is called Roundup. You know, it was patented back in the 70s as an antibiotic. So all of this chemicals being sprayed on all of our foods, we're ingesting antibiotics. Well, we all know that destroys the microbiome, which is the whole culture of good bacteria or bad bacteria that reside within us. We have pounds of it. And when you take an antibiotic, well, it kills the good almost quicker than the bad. So Roundup is devastating. We have to talk about that just for a second. But we need to do things that keep inflammation from occurring in the gut lining. And one of those is often we can't feel that a food is not bad for us because we've done it so long that it's become the norm. And many times you eat a food, it may take hours or even a day to affect us, so we never really connect those two foods. So I'm a big fan of doing a very modest, limited diet for 1 month to let the gut heal. And that the easiest way to look that diet up is a paleo diet. And the two biggest components of a paleo is no dairy and no wheat or grains. If you can do that for 4 weeks, promise you will lose some weight if you need to. Secondly, you're going to feel better in multiple levels, from probably thinking, maybe sleeping, maybe just vague things, because those are not always friendly to our gut lining. They just aren't. And if you can live on the paleo diet kind of plan, just Google it. You can see all the good list and the not good list. It can be life-changing. Do you do this the rest of your life? If it works, you do. But at least do this gut reset for 1 month, and I almost guarantee you'll see amazing results, especially when you combine it with time-restricted eating.
Yeah, 100%. And paleo, I think, is getting easier and easier to abide by. I mean, even here at our store, there's a brand called Primal Kitchen, and they have great salad dressings, dips, sauces, you name it, that are all paleo certified. So if it's something you're interested in doing, you don't necessarily have to make a ton of sacrifice following a paleo diet, and it can really help your gut out. Lastly, we do have a product here that we wanted to talk about, and this is Gut Support from Ion. This is a very unique, kind of somewhat niche supplement, but we've seen and heard from many people just what kind of dramatic effect this can have on their gut health. So I'm not going to get into the details. I'm going to let you explain what it is and what it does and kind of how it works.
You know, Brian, I spend time every single day connecting with people who I respect in the field of healing holistic medicine. Dr. Zach Bush is one of my heroes. You can YouTube him, you can look him up. And he speaks about, again, this interaction between glyphosate and things called leaky gut and the foods we eat. And to make it real simple, the gut should have what we call a tight junction, which means that the spaces in between it should be very, very, very tight. But what happens when we eat glyphosate and we eat other things like the foods we shouldn't be eating is we loosen those tight junctions and they become very big. That allows all kind of molecules to flow through that then the immune system has to attack, wears us out, makes us feel bad, everything from up and down. Well, I have seen amazing results by people taking 1 teaspoon of this 5 to 15 minutes before eating, because what it does is it temporarily tightens that junction so there's no holes left in it. And that is going to help in about 2 to 4 weeks to settle everything back down. And it also blocks glyphosate, so if we can't run from glyphosate. It's like EMFs. So if you're going to eat any regular foods, then this will block that horrendously horrible chemical that we can't run from. And it even has directions for kids under 3 years old. I've seen people's allergies and people's whole systems get realigned when they actually fix that gut.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, there you go, everyone. There are 4 fairly simple steps if you're interested in doing kind of a gut reset. This is a simple protocol that you can follow. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. We're always happy to see those. And please like and subscribe. Of course, helps us get the word out about natural health and natural healing. So thank you so much for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time on Nutrition Made Simple.
Thank you.